Without a doubt, Mercedes-Benz is the most motivated premium luxury brand globally when it comes to introducing new EVs. I mean, in the last 2.5 years or so, I mean, they've launched the EQS sedan, EQS SUV, EQE sedan, EQE SUV, and we know that there's a number of other electric versions coming, including the Gelandewagen. But beyond all of those, and with the potential possible exception of an EQE estate touring station wagon, which even if they do build it, we'll never see it in North America, the one that speaks to me the loudest is this one. This is an all-new 2023 EQB. Now, the thing is, the GLB, that is, this is a GLB, but electrified, I guess, is probably my favorite small premium SUV that I've ever come across. I was at the launch event 3 years ago, and no, 4 years ago, almost 4 years, unbelievable, at the GLB launch event in Europe somewhere, and I was smitten immediately. I mean, the pictures did it for me. There's something about the styling, the presence. It's playful but rugged. It's friendly but still very distinguished. And well, obviously, if you put, a pair of electric motors and a good-sized battery under it, then it just almost gets better. Well, it gets better in a number of ways, but not so much in other ways. Anyway, suffice it to say that I absolutely love the EQB. So much so that I'm finding it difficult to be objective when it comes to this SUV. And it's not a matter of many, many badges, right? It's just the content, the packaging, the styling. Just to give you an idea, just recently I reviewed the GV70, Genesis GV70 Electrified, and I absolutely loved it. It is almost perfect. I mean, if I was going to put it on a scale with the EQB, it is perfecter than this. And as spec'd, this has a little bit fewer features, kind of, than the GV70, and it's more expensive, has less range, less performance and all that, but somehow I forgive it. I just absolutely forgive it because of what it is. I know why, but I don't know why. Now I know why, because it's upright. It's an SUV. It's not pretending to be some kind of sportback, whatever, coupe SUV business stupidities. Did I just say that? But anyhow, so in the following video, what I'm gonna try to do, as best as I possibly can, is explain to you why this SUV is so cool, so insanely expensive as spec'd, obviously. And I mean, I'll tell you right now, one of the major issues with the GLB is that in Canada, it's only available in the top version, which kind of makes sense in a way. Whereas in the US, there are 2 sub iterations or trims that make this SUV far more attainable, at least, money-wise. Hopefully those versions will come to Canada in the future. But for now, 2023 EQB 350 4MATIC, the walk around and then the drive. Please hang in there. Styling, its shape, that's what gets me. Look how upright the rear hatch is. Look how tall and big the greenhouse is. I mean, okay, so maybe it's not upright also, but the windshield's angle, I mean, it's like 45-ish degrees, kind of. I mean, okay, so it's not a Wrangler, but it's certainly not some, like I said, silly SUV coupe business. It's a mini G-Wagon, like the GLB, obviously, and it's just perfect. I love everything visually about it. There isn't the proportions, short overhangs, long wheelbase, the tasteful flares. It's great. And I have to admit that at first I didn't really dig the EQ front grille business, the super glossy stuff business. But yeah, I'm all right. Actually, some of the black glossy stuff is an option on this vehicle. Let's just start with that right now. So in the US, you can get an EQB 250 with a single motor, and it starts at $52,750. So that kind of makes sense. There's also an EQB 300 4MATIC, and then the top trim 350 4MATIC, which in the US retails for $60,550. So in Canada, the only version, this one, as I've mentioned, with that, retails for $75,700 to start. That's a heck of a lot of money for a small SUV. But look, I mean, it's got the panoramic sunroof, heated steering wheel, heated seats, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, twin 10.25-inch displays, keyless entry, keyless start, and all of that. Along with, you know, the dual motors and the battery and all that. I'll tell you more in a few moments. So, you know, equipment-wise, it's not so bad. $75,700, it's so much money. But this is, you know, a fair amount of SUV to go with it. Now, the thing is that this one, my Tester, is insanely packed with options, including the night package, which gives you, you know, the gloss black accents and the black roof rails. It's got AMG body, which, I mean, I think you gotta have, but it comes at one very, very expensive cost, not price-wise really, but as far as I'm concerned. It also includes the sports seats, which are really nice, but it does throw in the sports steering wheel, which deletes, I don't know how that's possible in 2023, deletes the heated steering wheel. It also has the premium package with the Burmester audio heads-up display and intelligent drive package, lane keeping assist and such, for a grand total of $87,700, and that's without the available third row, which I wouldn't get in SUV, and that's an extra $1,300. But yeah, so that's it. So let's, this I love, nice little Volkswagen Touch, thank you. No, I said it. 495 liters trunk space is it's fairly generous. I mean, the lift over height is pretty good, very okay, I should say. Decent width. This is a small-ish SUV, right? Some reasonable storage under here. I don't know, this is fine for the average family, whatever. Cover, whatever. Okay, power hatch obviously included. In the rear, now because this is available with the third row, the second row slides and tilts and all that business. So when it's slid all the way back, still a fair amount of room in here. And again, because it's upright and there's a long wheelbase, look at the size of the opening at the bottom. Look at that, it's nearly horizontal at the top. So getting in and out of this as a human is easy peasy. And the kids just love climbing aboard, and you won't fit, well, you can fit a little bag between the two seats, but I mean, it's just great. And here's just a sampling of the fit, finish, and materials on the inside. As the rain begins to fall, it's beautiful. It's very simple, it's elegant, it's, you know, the adornments are reasonable. Even the Burmester audio grill, speaker grill, is nice. I mean, this is craftsmanship as you expect from Mercedes-Benz for the lower models. In fact, I'll just throw this in, but the EQS sedan I had a horrible hard plastic semi-loose center console. This is beautiful, sorted, solid, sports seats, very, very nice. So let's escape the rain as we get in. We'll start it up. So this is the culprit. This is the blah, blah, blah. This is the sports steering wheel that robs us of the heated steering wheel. I mean, it's wonderful. It's superb. It's got these paddles for the regen braking. So I'll explain that. Actually, it's not going to show up unless I'm in drive, right? Okay, so the column shifter. So you can see the D right there in the middle. So that's, you know, regen increase when it's a minus. Oops, that doesn't really work. And I can't see through my phone. And the regen decrease when you go up. Okay, so that's that. Let's put it back into park. Twin 10.25 displays, which are really, really nice. Proof that there's rain, see? Rain sensing wipers, which will shut off because that'll just be annoying. So the display here is configurable. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this easily through the phone. Yeah, see, there you go. You can change all kinds of displays, and you have the heads-up display because of the package. What else can I say? I mean, it's very, very regular Benz stuff, which is a wonderful touch. For this, Benz did not try to reinvent the HMI, right? It's still MBUX, and I still love these vents. They're just fantastic. And you can kind of see the backlit. I forget exactly what it's called, but it's very cool. It kind of lights up there. I think you can see it. Oh, no, you can't. Cancel. Thank you. Demonstration of Hey Mercedes. Uh-oh. No? Not gonna? What do you want to do? Nothing. Thanks. HVAC control is very straightforward. If you want to access the HVAC menu, you have to use, I think I just showed you this button, and then it pops up here. As you can see, there's nothing for the heated steering wheel. And by the way, the heated seat control is right there. As always, the seat controls are there, your memory settings. I'm trying to power through this. I don't know why. Very typical trackpad, a few shortcut buttons for vehicle settings. Which I guess, yeah, quick access, so you can, your assistance right here. Oh, dynamic. I'm all over the place. This is going to be horrible. It's going to make you all sick, all three of you watching. Eco, Comfort, Sport, and Individual, which I haven't even configured. I've been going through between Comfort and Eco because it just makes sense, and it's, I don't know, it works with the type of vehicle. Storage is very decent. Door bins, this is nice too. It's just typical Benz stuff. Visibility is, because we're so upright, despite the size of the base of the A-pillar, you can kind of see over the mirror when you're taking, say, your 90-degree turn around a cement median. It works out. Look, fit, finish, craftsmanship, materials, it's all up to Benz spec, and it just looks great. And the drive is a lot of fun too. So let's take care of that right now. So this is another example, like for the price, when comparing to, say, the XC40 or the Polestar 2, and whatever, or even the GV70. These EVs are so smart, they should recognize you when you get in and start immediately. I am going to lobby for that. Yeah, so because we only get a 350, and I'm only going to focus on the 350 in Canada, so it's dual motors. Total system output is 288 HP and 384 pound-feet of torque, which is a considerable amount of power, but allow me to point out the fact that this small SUV weighs a whopping 4,800 pounds, largely due to the 70.5 kilowatt hour battery unit located beneath, in the middle, and all of that business. So despite that, I mean, it's still relatively quick. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour is 6.2 seconds. And as always, instant torque. I mean, just catapulted forward. It's a lot of fun, as all EVs. And as all EVs, there isn't much of a, there's no communicating. I mean, you have to say in order to communicate with the SUV. But steering is still fine. I mean, there's again, I'm in Eco or Comfort just because I'm sure 99% of you who will purchase this will focus on those two modes, and the occasional one will configure their individual mode and happily play with it, and maybe even go into Sport. Brakes are a little iffy. I mean, even now, after almost 6 days with the SUV, travel is fairly long, but it's something you get used to and eventually forget. And I'm saying this in part because I have another electric SUV. It's another one of those weeks where, everything happens during the summer when the weather improves and deadlines get close and stories have to be filed. Anyhow, the thing with the why I bring up the brake pedal so much is that unlike other electric SUVs, this, even in the most aggressive regen and in eco mode, it will not come to a full stop, which is kind of unfortunate. It'll hold, obviously, but only if you press all the way down, the brake pedal all the way down, then it understands that it wants you to hold the position, and it will. The advantage, I'd say, for this premium EV. Now the noises you're hearing is my son's baby seats, and then there's always the tripod in the back and all that. But insulation, sound insulation is on premium, or at a premium level, as you would expect in a Benz. But not quite as quiet as the GV70, I have to say, but a lot quieter than a few other mainstream EVs that I drove recently. Now this is the power overpowers the Continental tires. The surface is a little slick because, as I said, it's raining, and you can feel the front end lift and the front wheels spin just under a 75% throttle. It's kind of insane. Which also kind of, I mean, this thing will, as all very heavy, even the small ones, SUVs and all the other ones that I've driven, understeer is an actual real thing if you really like to push it. Yeah, low center of gravity, but again, I'm repeating myself compared to other EVs, but you can't do anything about mass. There's just so much of it. But despite the mass, multi-link rear suspension, obviously independent up front, and the 19-inch wheels, which are standard with the 350. 20s are optional, and if you take the 20s, you can have access to adaptive dampers. But as spec as is with the 19s, ride quality is superb. I mean, it rides like a big SUV. I mean, this could be a GLE or, you know, petrol versions. And in fact, this rides so much better than the EQS I drove. I haven't driven the EQS SUV, and to be quite frank, I don't necessarily feel the need for it. EQE, different because it's smaller. But you know, this drives like a large, but it doesn't feel large, premium SUV that just happens to be very snappy and very efficient. Now, on the subject of efficiency, 70.5 kilowatt hours, 4,800 pounds. It means that range is limited. Yeah, limited to only an estimated 356 kilometers. Now, I've plugged it in a couple of times, driving here and there, and I've had over 350 indicated. Obviously, these are ideal driving conditions, 20-22 degrees Celsius on average, a little bit of rain, cool, so no heat, no cooling. I have no reason to believe that 356 is not realistic. However, in the winter, I'm thinking this is going to drop to well below 300 kilometers of range. And where it kind of gets a little bit of a bummer is that the maximum charging capacity or speed that this thing is able to handle on a fast charger, DC fast charger, is only 100 kilowatts. And 2023, that's a little bit of a, I mean, you don't brag about that. And you do not certainly want to be compared to, say, the Korean brands. This is what I kind of meant, has fewer features than GV70 Electrified, but kind of not. So that means like a 10 to 80 state of charge is 32 or 33 minutes compared to, say, 18 if you can find a 350 kilowatt charger. And you know, 2 or 3 of those and you're going to get to your destination. 2 or 3 charges and you're going to get to your destination far quicker in a Genesis than in this. Onboard charger though is 11 kilowatts, I think. Oh shoot, I forget. I think it's 10 at least. Meaning that at home on a portable, say a level 2 charger or a wall-mounted level 2 charger, and you need about 6 hours for, say, a 100% charge from about 10%, maybe 15%. So effectively, you can charge this overnight and never, ever have to worry about not having enough range the following morning when you have to do your daily business. See, it's what I'm doing. Why I'm comparing it to the GV70 is that this is a lesser EV, but a more SUV. It doesn't make any sense. Like I said, I can't be objective about this thing. And it's not because of the brand, it's the styling, it's the presentation, it's because it looks like well, the GV70 certainly looks like a regular GV70, the electrified version, obviously. I don't know. You know, we all develop biases for certain things, and the GLB, the EQB, is just one of those vehicles that, I mean, I would never get an SUV, or will try never to get an SUV. I'll get minivans before. But this one, though not this generation. Next generation with a different battery and more charging capabilities and all that, it would be on my short list. Anyhow, so many things. As always, thank you.